That's a nice start to the day. Thank you, Lisa. Things you should know. For the month of April, we continue to do the April shower. So if you want to go out at the end of the service, pick up a flower, see what's on it. You're welcome to pick up several till you find something you want to buy. But we are doing that for our Mother's House to support homeless mothers and their children. This year, for the first time, we are having a Good Friday service, 5 p.m., April 18th. So if you're interested, this is a Christian-based service. Obviously, it's for Good Friday. Come on up Friday evening. We are having a Good Friday service. Next week is Easter. Wear your Easter bonnets. We will be doing our now traditional Easter bonnet parade. And we look good when we do it, so if you haven't been here before, please feel free, male, female, whoever you are, please feel free to wear an Easter bonnet. And I'm going to ask Rich Canarelli, wherever you're wandering around, there you are, come on up. Rich is going to tell us about the Amanda Tyler event that's coming up, and you don't want to miss this one.
Good morning. For those who don't know me, as Amy mentioned, I'm Richard Canarelli, a member of this congregation for a long time. And this is a reminder that on April 26th at 2 p.m., United Church of Christ, Nair Hall, the Suncoast Citizens for Separation of Church and State and the Alliance for Social Justice of Southwest Florida is sponsoring a Zoom presentation by Amanda Tyler. Amanda Tyler has appeared on television a number of times. She has given testimony before Congress. She is the president of the Baptist Joint Committee for Religious Liberty. And the topic that she will be addressing is Christian nationalism a threat to your personal and religious freedom? And I can answer that in advance. Yes, it is. If you have any doubt in your mind, I'm telling you now, yes, it is. It is the underpinnings on Project 2025 that is killing the education department, going after LGBTQ rights, and just about everything that you can think of that is crazy going on in Washington right now. You can thank Project 2025, and you can tie it back in some way, shape, or form to Christian nationalism. We really would appreciate your being there. It'll be a Zoom presentation. We have reached out, our committee has reached out to about 75 religious leaders of all different faiths, asking them to attend. We've received a good response, but it is extremely important that this congregation do its best to support us. This is something that comes right to the heart of what we believe, and you can't know enough about about Christian nationalism and how it's destroying our country. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Venice, which we know as UCOV. My name is Eileen Leapley, and I'm your worship associate for this morning's service. We are delighted that you are here, no matter who you are or where you come from. This is a space where diversity is celebrated, and everyone who enters respectfully is valued. Whether or not you already know someone here, we are glad you are here. You bring unique perspectives, experiences, and cultures, and enrich our community. At UCOV, we believe in inclusivity and respect, and in working to ensure that everyone feels seen, heard, and appreciated. So come as you are, and let's create a wonderful community together. If anyone's here for the first time and feels brave and comfortable doing so, please raise your hand, and Tony and Tom will bring you a microphone. You can stand, and you can introduce yourself briefly so we can welcome you.
Hi, my name is Gay Claiborne. It's my first time here. I've lived in Venice for a couple of years. I see John and Serena and Richard. I know a few people, so thank you for welcoming me.
Thank you for coming.
I'm not a visitor, but I would like to introduce my daughter Shelley and my granddaughter Evelyn. Shelley's from Grass Lake, Michigan.
Welcome.
Evelyn's from Washington, D.C.
Anybody else? Oh, ooh, lots. Don't fight over 'em.
Hello, my name is Lisa. This is my first time here. I've been in this area for about 4 years now. Before that, I used to go to Unitarian Church in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which I found to be a wonderful community. I'm hoping to find the same thing here. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Someone was here unless you changed your mind. Tony?
Knew it does. All right, I'm here visiting my friends, Roger and Beverly. It's first time to Venice. I'm from South Portland, Maine. It's cold up there, so I had a tough time trying to figure out the wardrobe. I'm extremely active in the Democratic Party, so all the things that I heard made me feel very welcome. Thank you very much. Oh.
Thanks for coming. Anyone else? All right. Any of our old timers getting ready to leave for the north anytime soon so we can say goodbye to you? Oh, I hate this part. Steve.
Stephen Palmer, we're heading back to beautiful New Jersey. And we love it here, we love you guys, and we'll be back next January.
Oh, that's too long. No, got to change plans. Anybody else leaving us? Oh, good. We get to keep you for a little bit longer. Okay, we are now entering sacred space, so please silence all your electronics. Thank you. We light our chalice today to symbolize the light of hope and renewal. May the flame remind us of the journey of transformation and the promise of new beginnings. In the spirit of love and unity, let us embrace the teachings of compassion and justice and strive to create a world where peace and kindness prevail.
Christians celebrate today as Palm Sunday. And Palm Sunday is the beginning of the Christian Holy Week, commemorating the final days of the Rabbi Jesus' life, including his entry into Jerusalem, his crucifixion, and his supposed resurrection. And while we're Palm Sunday still has some pretty fascinating lessons to teach. Ideas about hope and renewal, the power of love over hate and justice over oppression. But it also teaches about the need to stand in witness and to refuse to look away. And that's what we're going to be talking about here today. So welcome to UCOV, and come let us celebrate and worship here together. Our gathering hymn this morning is number 352, Find a Stillness. So please rise in body or spirit and join in singing number 352, Find a Stillness. And our spotlight this morning was originally the fiscal and AV teams, but I believe it's just the fiscal. All right, and Joel, take it away.
Thank you, Amy. And I'd ask John Spitzer and Jack Head if you'll come up and back me up because I feel lonely up here. I'm Joel Morrison. I'm head of the fiscal team and reports to the coordinating council. And I want you to take away from here, because I know we could bore you to death with numbers and things like that, but there are two things I want you to take away from here. First, UCOV's financial health is good. And number two, we need volunteers from UCOV to help our team perform its duties. Okay, the finances are good, but we also need help from you. Volunteer. I don't think we know how to turn down a volunteer. The workhorse of the team is the Finance Committee. It meets monthly on the second Tuesday at 2 p.m. And you're always welcome to join us. I'm temporarily chairing that, as at the annual meeting you elected John Spitzer as the treasurer of the organization. So he moves from the head of the Finance Committee to the board as treasurer. I also want to name the members of the Finance Committee, and we'll ask them to stand as I call their name. So Tom Hartley, Dave Lyon, Barb Gumney, David Lindemer, Bill Dowling, Daryl Lang. Okay, and John Spitzer, which I've already referred to, he's now the treasurer and he's ex officio of the committee. The Finance Committee, as I said, is the workhorse. It prepares the annual operating budget, It performs monthly oversight of the operating budget. It oversees the financial funds, the futures funds, and the reserve funds. It makes investment decisions. It analyzes proposals to the board that require expenditures and makes a recommendation. And we develop funding projects. Second committee is getting going, and it's called the Legacy Friends Committee, and it's for people who plan to leave a gift upon their death or in their will to UCOV. There is a scroll on the back, as you may have noticed, with names of those who have promised in their will to leave money to UCOV. Jack Head is the new head of the Legacy Friends Committee. And besides that, we have 2 dormant committees. Victims, I think, of COVID, but we'll see. We need to have a stewardship committee, and we had a travel club. I'd like to see it rejuvenated. Please see me after the service or email me at joelmorrison@comcast.net for if you have any other questions or if you would like to volunteer. We need you. Thank you.
And I'll put a plug in here. If anyone who isn't male would like to consider joining this team, the guys would love to have you. Little plug there. This is the time in our service when we do our offering, and we always do it with a joke because giving shouldn't hurt. A UU minister had a congregant named Chuck, who was known as the cheapest man in town. And despite his great wealth, he pledged $1 a year and said loudly, "You'll never get more, I'm taking it all with me." Well, Chuck got very ill and was about to die, and he called the minister to his bedside. He said, "Reverend, I've never trusted banks. All my money is here, hidden under my mattress. I want you to promise me one thing." "Promise what?" she asked dubiously. "I want you to promise that when I'm dead, you'll take the money from under the mattress and you will send it all with me." The minister nodded quite solemnly, and Chuck died a happy man. A few days later, the church's treasurer came running into the minister's office, leaping with joy. "Minister," he said, "someone put over $500,000 in cash into the donation box." He ran off again before she could speak, still dancing gleefully. The administrative assistant, who had heard about the whole thing, "Don't tell me that was Chuck's money. Didn't you do what he asked?" "Oh, I did," the minister said. "I took all the cash from under the mattress. I counted every penny, and I wrote him a check for the full amount, and I stuck it in the coffin." Don't be like Chuck. Give generously now. The morning offering will now be given and gratefully received. Thank you so much for these gifts and for everything you do for the life and the work of this community. Because it's as a community of human hands and human hearts that we come together here to bear witness and to minister to one another as we struggle with life's sorrows and we celebrate life's joys. Before or at any other point in the service, you're welcome to come up and light a candle on the candle table, but at this point we will light for you. So please raise a hand. Someone will bring you a microphone if you have a joy or a sorrow to share. Okay, looks like Tom is our microphone person, and Tony.
Yes, good morning. My name is Anne Smith, and for the last 2 months, I've been privileged to work with Benny Sato Ambush at the Venice Theatre, putting on The Learned Ladies at Venice Theatre, which opened on Friday night. And that's my joy, because I worked alongside my dear friend Nancy Scanlon, who many of you know. My sorrow is that yesterday afternoon, Michael Scanlon had another fall, and he is now in hospital again, and we had to cancel the show last night because Nancy has a pivotal role. Anyway, I know she would want you to know, and that you would be sending her very healing vibes, her husband very healing vibes. He was moved from ICU into a regular ward late last night, so that was good news. So anyway, I'm sure some of you are in touch with Nancy, but I just wanted you to know. And hopefully she will be back in the theatre on Tuesday night. And please come. It is a Molière play that's been brilliantly brought to life at Venice Theatre. Thank you.
Hi, John Van Camp, and I'm chairperson of the Social Justice Alliance of the Suncoast of Florida. And the joy I have is to add to what Rich talked about in terms of the Amanda Taylor, because in addition to Amanda Taylor, we have 3 people of faith who are a reactor panel, an Episcopalian, a Lutheran, and our own Reverend Amy. That's the joy I want to say.
And one more social justice point. I don't know about you, but I haven't been sleeping too well lately with all that's going on. And one of the happy things was going to that Venice Resistance on April 5th. And there's another one coming up on the 19th to join with the national resistance efforts around the country. And I just saw the email. It will be at 1 p.m. at the same location, Michael Deal Park in Venice, and it's 1 p.m. Saturday the 19th, so I hope you can join us and spread the word.
Oh no, there's still more social justice. There's a lot. I'm with the Women's Health Care Social Justice Committee, and we have the April showers. I just want to thank everybody. We have quite a support out there to start, so I know it's going to be very successful. I also want to say there is no meeting. I don't know how these meetings get in the bulletin. I don't know how they get somewhere, but it's easier to get them in than out. But there is no meeting. There will be a celebration in May, and people will know when that is. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Jean Barlow. For those of you who haven't met me, I'm delighted to meet you all. I have a sorrow and a celebration. The sorrow is I've lost my car key. I left my purse in the car and I took the little thing and put it here. I have a Toyota, so it's that little black thing, for those of you who know. So I need to do that or I can't get home. Look around, see if you see that little black thing. And the second thing is a celebration. Do you all remember when 2 students of our dear Lisa Frank came here to perform? One was Aurora Gia, I think that's how you say it, and the other was Mia Bugin. Well, I'm with Venice Musicale. I'm on the board there, and our main mission is scholarships. and both of those ladies in their respective categories won first place. So I just wanted you to know that. And the concerts showing their talent as well as other scholarship winners will be at St. Mark's on the 29th of April and the 1st. That's a Tuesday and a Thursday at 6 o'clock. Thank you.
I will give you a visual. This is not Jane's, this is my Toyota fob. But that's what you're looking for if it's on the floor or around somewhere under a chair or something.
My name is Peter, and I'm glad to be here. My sorrow is that I am in the dumps with regards to everything that is going on in the country, and sometimes the sorrows get away from me. But my celebration and my happiness is that when I come here, I see Amy, and I know the world is going to be a better place, and that I will walk out of here feeling up and good. Thank you.
My name's Tina, and I just found out about Pat Wellington. I don't check my Facebook enough, I guess, but I look forward to having her back and healthy.
In answer to that, she told me this morning she's feeling better, her head is clearing, and we hope to see her next week.
It's COVID, right?
COVID, yes. If you didn't know, when we got off the cruising ship, she started feeling miserable and found out right away it was COVID. She went and got tested at a clinic, and they said, well, the good news is you don't have the flu. But she's been suffering, she's taken the pills, and it's been a long week, but she's getting better.
Good. May the love of this community hold all who need love and concern. May the light of our community shine on the broken places of the world. May we never look away when we're needed. May those who are grieving be comforted, and those who are tired find rest. May the broken places be healed, and may those who are filled with joy and laughter be abundant. And now we're going to do one of the most joyous things we get to do as a congregation, and I'm going to ask Annie to join me up here. We are going to do a new member welcome. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Our community could not exist if it weren't for the members who make up the congregation. And today we're going to formally welcome 9 more people. So for any of those who are here, and I know we had a lot of people that are out of town and not available today, but I'm going to read the list of names. For any of them who are actually here, please join us up here. Carol Atwell, Charlene Frick, Becky Gannon, Lori Hawks, Cathay Keogh, Mike Keogh, Daryl Lang, Patricia Mancini, and Kate Simpson. So for anybody who's here, come on up. How about a big round of applause for them and for Annie, who heads this committee. We gather here looking for a higher purpose and a deeper life than we could find alone, and we're grateful today for each one of you that you found your way here and that you decided to make a commitment to this community. We hope that as a member of UCOV, you'll let yourselves know and be known, to minister and be ministered to love and to be loved by this congregation. We never know what gets you here, what combination of fate and friendship and good luck or bad luck that brings you here. for any purpose, but we believe that membership calls each of us to celebrate whatever's drawn us together and to regard each one as a spiritual friend and potential teacher, even of occasional hard lessons. As members, we pledge to be guardians of each other's spirits, to respect the ultimate privacy of each one's human struggle, and to believe in each one's inherent dignity.
I'm Ann Harrison, and I'm here today representing the membership team. As we come together, we recognize that each member contributes to our community, supporting the life and work of UCOV. Together, we make this a vital and dynamic congregation, working for positive change in ourselves and the world.
A member of a UU congregation makes a free choice to join their life with that of a religious community. So if you, standing here with me now, are ready to affirm that choice, please repeat the words listed on the sheet that you have in front of you at the new member affirmation.
Go.
I will do my part to maintain this congregation's ongoing life and work. I covenant to build relationships of mutual trust and respect within the community and to work towards congregational well-being and service in all that I do here. As a symbol of this covenant, I have signed my name in the membership book.
Well done.
It is the joy and duty of our congregation to welcome you into this community. Would the members of the congregation please read in unison the words of covenant and welcome on the screen?
If you can see them.
If you can see them. We welcome you and invite you to join us in this community's life and work. In the bonds of fellowship and love, we unite to cultivate reverence, promote spiritual growth and ethical commitment, minister to each other's needs and those of humanity, celebrate the sacred moments of life's passage, and honor the holiness of community.
And as symbols of our welcome, we offer you both the right hand of fellowship and a small gift. We are so glad you're here, and Annie has all the goodies.
So grateful.
We're so glad you guys joined. Thank you. All right, thank you all.
Our meditation this morning is an adapted version of a Palm Sunday prayer by UU writer David Johnson. Whatever there is, which is the soul and heart of life, save us from fear, the fear of days and nights yet to be, the fear of the known and the unknown, the fear that builds high walls around our spirits and our lives, the fear that closes in and envelops us, the fear that nibbles at the edges of every satisfaction. Free us from fear of failure and success, of shame and pain, of death and fear of life as well. Open our eyes that we may see the glory in humbleness and simplicity, commonness strewn generously across our path all our days. May we recognize you riding upon a simple beast of burden down the crooked streets of Jerusalem. May we not require the palms of victory and praise, the accolades and shouts of the multitude, to see glory in gentleness, patience, loving kindness, and yes, pain and sometimes death. Thy way of peace, of faith, hope, and love still is our path, our joy, our way. Amen. Holding these words in mind, please join me in 1 minute of silent thought, meditation, or prayer. Our second reading today is from the Christian book of Matthew, 21, 1 to 11, from the Voice Bible version. Jesus, the disciples, and the great crowds were heading toward Jerusalem when they came to Bethphage on the Mount of Olives. Jesus stopped and beckoned to two of the disciples. Jesus said, "Go to the village over there. There you'll find a donkey tied to a post and a foal beside it. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone tries to stop you, then tell him, 'The master needs these,' and he will send the donkey and the foal immediately." He sent the disciples on ahead so his entry into Jerusalem could fulfill what the prophet Zechariah had long since foretold. "Tell this to Zion's daughter, 'Look, your king is approaching, seated humbly on a donkey, a young foal, a beast of burden.'" So the disciples went off and followed Jesus' instructions. They brought the donkey and foal to Jesus. They spread their cloaks on the animals, and Jesus sat down on them. The great crowd followed suit, laying their cloaks on the road. Others cut leafy branches from the trees and scattered those before Jesus. And the crowds went before Jesus, walked alongside him, and processed behind, all singing. The crowd called out, "Hosanna, praises to the Son of David. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Eternal One. Hosanna in the highest." And that is how Jesus came into Jerusalem. The people noticed this strange parade. They wondered, who could this be, this humble, bearded man on a donkey who incited such songs? They asked, "Who is this?" The crowd replied, "This is Jesus, the prophet, from Nazareth in Galilee." Now please rise in body or spirit and join in singing number 86, "Blessed Spirit of My Life." We're in the church season of the Christian calendar called Lent. It's the time from a holiday called Ash Wednesday to Easter Sunday. So that's about 46 total days. 40 fasting days and 6 Sundays, which don't count.
and it covers the last 6 weeks of the life of the man Jesus. It mirrors a period earlier in Jesus' life where he was supposedly fasting in the desert after he was baptized, a time when he began his new life and was tempted by Satan. Now, the temptation is a great story. If you don't know it, Jesus was baptized in the River Jordan by his cousin, John, and then he went out alone. And Satan decided he was going to try to get this man on his side. And he said, "If you're hungry, I have bread, here you go." And Jesus said, "I don't want it, no thanks." And he said, "You know what? You can't get hurt, Jesus. Why don't you go ahead and prove it? Jump off this cliff. Your Father has to save you." And Jesus said, I don't think so. And Satan said, "If you just worship me, I'll give you everything. You won't have to live like this." And that's the piece I want you to remember, that idea in the temptation. If you just do it my way, I'll give you the world. That's what Satan said. Turn from what's right. Turn aside from what you know to be good, and I will make it all work out. Because that is so relevant still today. How many times, and you don't have to raise your hand, but I want you to think about it, how many times have you had a family member or a boss or a minister say or imply to you, "If you just do it my way, ignore what you know, do it my way, if you just agree with me." Maybe you've heard a politician do this. "If you just let the good stuff slide and do what you know to be wrong because I say so, everything's just gonna be all right. If you just shut up, if you just laugh at the racist comment, if you just go along to get along, you'll do great. You'll have power and privilege. Just turn away. Do it the easy way and I'll let you have it all." I know I've had teachers, bosses, ministers tell me exactly that. Don't think, just do it my way. And the unspoken part of that they don't have the guts to say to you is, "And everyone else can just go to hell. Everyone else can just do whatever. Because you were supposed to do something, but you turned away and you say, yeah, what's more important is I got mine." Most of us have spent a lifetime trying not to do that. And Jesus, the rabbi, Jesus, he didn't do that. According to the story, he turned it all down. He walked hungry and thirsty. He didn't jump when he was told to jump. And later in the book of Mark, he says something that really sums it up, and this one has always stuck with me. Mark 8:36. "What does it profit a man if he should gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" Doesn't matter if you're well-fed and rich and powerful if you had to sell your soul to get there. Now here's a thing, when Jewish writings say 40 days, they don't really mean 40 days. It might be 40 days, might be 5 or 7 or 37 and a half. 40 means enough time for a thing to happen, a sacred length of time. So it's just like you hear "Once upon a time," and you know it's a fairy tale, right? When you hear "it happened in 40 days," you know it was a sacred thing. 40 is a sacred number. It's the time it takes something consequential to happen. So 40 days after Jesus was born again by baptism, mirrored against this story, the Palm Sunday story, 40 days while preparing to die. They are the bookends of Jesus' ministerial life. Today's date for Christians is 1 week before Jesus died a hellish death on a cross in the same city. Whether you believe this is a completely fictional story, a messianic tale layered on top of some truth, or a true take, doesn't matter here today. In the reading, you heard the basic story. Jesus has been teaching all over this area, and he has come to Jerusalem and sends his followers out to get him transportation, specific transportation, because this man is intelligent. Jewish writings have told the people how the Messiah will show up. And the Messiah will show up with the donkey and the foal. He knows this. He is playing to the story. He deliberately made sure that he met the expectation. He knew the people had been told that these were the signs the Messiah was coming, and one of them is here's how he shows up. So he rode into town, and the people put their cloaks and the leaves of palm trees on the road to lay the dust. They greeted him as a prophet who came in the name of God. Hosanna, they said. And the crowd rushed into the streets. He came willingly to Jerusalem on a Sunday, and he let the people greet him reverently. And the people were happy because he fulfilled their expectations. He was the Messiah because he did it right. Let me tell you what I mean by that. If you go into a restaurant, fancy restaurant, you're in your best clothes and you're in your suit or your dress, and a gentleman walks up to you and he's wearing a suit and he's carrying a tray and he has a pad at his waist and he says to you, "May I take your drink order?" Who is he? He's the waiter. How do you know he's the waiter? Because he looks like the waiter and he acts like the waiter. So he must be the waiter. Jesus preached. He rode into town in the appropriate manner. He must be the Messiah. Now, some Jews believed that their warrior king had really come. And some were Jews who weren't exactly sure of the exact right message, but maybe he was a different kind of Messiah. And some were Gentiles who thought, he's just another false Jewish prophet. They expected him to cause a big fuss and then disappear when Rome showed up and got grumpy. They didn't know what to do with him. They just knew he must be the Messiah. Some heard his message and thought they got it. But most of them could agree he was telling the story right, or at least close to right. Hosanna, let's lay the branches down, he's a good Messiah. And yet, on Tuesday, he would tell his closest followers that the time to die was at hand. And on Thursday, he would ask them to pray in the Garden of Gethsemane, as for the first time he asked God to stop what was about to happen. Now, for those of you who are very secular, this is a man who had aggravated Rome in every way possible. He knew they were coming for him. He couldn't fail to know the crowds had gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. This would be like Bernie Sanders pretending that he didn't know the establishment didn't like him very much. But at a time where they could kill you easily because they didn't like you much. He knew they were coming for him. He knew it was soon. The crowds were too big. Too many people were saying he must be the Messiah. Rome didn't like popular messiahs. So on Thursday, he asked his friends to pray with him because just for a minute, the human side of that man showed up and he was afraid. He knew what was coming. He asked his friends, "Come with me to the garden, I want to pray." And when he got there, he asked them to wait, to watch with me for a little while. I want to go out alone and pray. And he did. And according to the story, he asked, not demanded, to make this all go away. What I've always found fascinating is when he prayed, according to the story, he used the Aramaic word Abba, Dad, Daddy. He said, Abba, if it's your will, take this away from me. For any of you who've heard your child crying because they were so afraid, he said, Dad, if you can, make this not happen, please. This is a frightened child asking a parent not to let me get hurt anymore. Again, this is a mirror of the earlier temptation at the beginning of his ministry. I'm scared. I want to run away. I want to be quiet. I want to stay alive. And he wrestled with that alone. There are versions of the story where he was so frightened that the vessels in his eyes had started to bleed. But when he came down to where his friends were, they had all fallen asleep. He was alone and more frightened than he had ever been, and his buddies had all dozed off. And when he found them, he said, "What? Could you not even watch with me for 1 hour?" And he woke them up, and he went to pray again, and he came back again, and they were all sound asleep again. And he did it again, and again they went back to sleep, and he told them, "It's time to go." Alone and afraid with his life on the line, and his friends who were not at such risk said, "You know what, we're kind of tired. I'm just going to stretch out on these leaves over here." And I read that and I think about our country, our world. People asking us, "Hey, can't you just watch with me just a little bit?" Queer people and women, pregnant women, people with disabilities, young black men afraid in our streets, black and brown people incarcerated in Florida and across the country, people fighting and dying just for a chance to live their lives, work a job, fighting not to be deported without process, and saying to us, wake up, I'm afraid. Wake up and walk with me. Wake up and watch with me. Can't you just watch with me for 1 hour? But after the third time he found them asleep, Jesus led his friends away from the garden. Now, in 1988, Martin Scorsese made a graphic movie called The Last Temptation of Christ. And in that movie, as Jesus was crucified, he was tempted one last time. He was given a vision of what his life would be if he just walked away, if he didn't die, if he got married and had children, if he just behaved, if he just shut up. A temptation to mirror the first one, a temptation to end his life. This is what black and brown people are told every day. Just shut up. Just act white. Be white, for God's sake. Can't you just shut up? Just do your hair and wear your clothes and sing and dance and talk like white people and it will be fine. And matter of fact, speak English while you're doing it. They get told this every day. Just sell your soul and it'll be okay. LGBTQ people hear the same thing, handicapped people, women. And they say the same thing that he said in the garden. They say to you, to the white people, to the able-bodied people, to the straight people, can't you watch with us just for a little while? We're tempted to give in and give up and run away. We're tempted to lose all that makes us who we are and sell our souls to take away the pain and the fear. And that's a temptation for us right now, and every one of you will be tempted, especially over the next 3 or 4 years. You'll get asked, which side are you on? What do you believe? What do you stand for? That's hell at a garden party, isn't it? We've all been there. What about you? And you go mumble, mumble, mumble. I need to go to the bathroom now. Gosh, we've all been there. And it's why we come here to hold each other up, because we know the pain. We know the struggle. Can't you watch with us just for a little while? Jesus and his friends left the garden on Thursday, and early on Friday morning he was arrested. And some of the same people that had put down the branches and the cloaks just a few days earlier stood in the crowd and yelled, "Crucify him." Some because they wanted a spectacle, some because he hadn't behaved like the Messiah and they were aggravated. Some were angry because he hadn't led anyone in battle or brought down a host of angels to do all the work for them. He was doing it wrong. He wasn't rebelling in ways that they said were appropriate, so they yelled, "Crucify him." And rebellion is always easier if it looks the way you expect it to. We're bad rebellers, you guys. We are. We're bad. We do it our way, and it may not always look the way they expect it to. If you've ever looked at Dr. King in his suit marching neatly across the bridge in Selma and thought how good it was that he was so polite and respectful and professional, how different he was from the radical activists stopping traffic, think about that crowd yelling, "Crucify him," because he wasn't doing Messiah right. How willing they were to walk with him and work with him as long as he behaved in ways they accepted, and how quickly they turned when they didn't get it. On Friday, he was crucified as a criminal against Rome and the Jews, and he did it willingly in order to create the ending that suited the story that he, and some people say God, were writing. It was the appropriate end for the message he wanted to send and the story he wanted to tell. It gave meaning to his death. He died a martyr and rose up as a religion. Could the story have gone otherwise? Absolutely. It could have been the war story of another angry rabbi leading a group of Jews in doomed rebellion. It could have been a love story about a rabbi who could have been famous, but who gave up his preaching to marry and have children. It could even have been a horror story about a dead rabbi who continued to wander around the Mount of Olives. But it became a story of someone who was willing to die so his life and his teaching would live, who rose from the dead in the form of teachings and sermons and stories and songs, regardless of whether he really rose or not. And it was the story of someone who didn't give in to temptation, who died authentic to his story, rather than die denying who he was. So I ask you the same thing he asked them. Can't you watch with me just a little while? Can't you stay a little woke? Can't you rise up and wake up and watch with people who are calling? Support one another, knowing that we are all better together and that each one of us needs all of us. Lay down your palms and smooth the way, and don't give in to temptation to yell, "Crucify him," when the saviors don't meet your expectations, and save each other. Lay down palms for each other. Break the mold, find more palms, lay them down again. And look for me and others in your community of love and support. We'll be there for you. We'll be the ones laying down palm fronds in front of your ass as you go by. Amen. We extinguish this chalice, but we carry its light into the world to shine on the shadowed places where all other lights fail. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn this week, number 168, One More Step. go into the world awake and watching and carry with you the love and support of this community. Peace, ashe, and may it be so.